dear students, great to see you all today. And today's class is for both class 9 as well as 10. Hope all of you are staying fine, you're staying safe at this crucial time. And let us have a look at the present perfect and the simple past tenses today. So the topic of our discussion today is going to be based on these two sentences. Before we begin, let me make an important point, because we need to have a proper understanding of the tenses, and learning the tenses doesn't mean you mug up the formulas and you write sentences based on the formula. Well, formula is important, but equally important is how to use the tenses correctly in the right situations, in the right way. So application of tenses is more important than learning them by rote, just mugging up the formulas and mugging up certain sentences. That's not going to help us. Why do we learn the tenses? We learn tenses to write correct sentences, express our ideas through small paragraphs, through letters, and in classes 9 and 10, we write articles, we write reports, notices. For all these kind of writings, we need a proper understanding of tenses. That is very important. So, most of the students get confused with these two sentences. What is a simple past and what is a present perfect? When do we use them? The question arises there. So, first of all, let us look into this question. When do we use a simple past? You see, simple past is a tense which is used to talk about something that is over and finished. It talks about a finished action. Action is completed. But when did the action happen? If you want to make the action more, specific, or if you want to mention the type of action clearly, then you must use a time adverb. First of all, let us get into the formula. Subject plus V2 plus object. Well, object sometimes is not used, but these two things are very important. And here again, if you look, the action happened at a specified time. So we use a simple past to talk about an action which happened at a specified time. Look at this. I went to the gym yesterday. So the action is going to the gym. Now action is completed. So we use the second form of the verb, that is the past form of the verb, V2. I went to the gym. Up to this, the sentence has some meaning. It has a subject and it also has a verb. So I went to the gym. Action is over. But again, look at this adverb. I went to the gym yesterday. So when did I go? I went yesterday. Or I went to the gym last Monday. Here again, the time is specified. So when you specify the time with the time adverb, then the action becomes clearer. And therefore, the simple past is used. Now, I cannot write a sentence like this. I have gone to the gym yesterday. I have gone to the gym yesterday. This sentence is wrong. It's not accepted as correct English. Why? Because the time adverb yesterday is used with the present perfect. We never do that. I went to the gym yesterday is the right way of saying it. So, always remember, time adverbs are generally avoided when you write a present perfect tense. Now, coming back to the simple past, it has a subject, it has the past form of the verb, and you can also make questions Did you watch the movie this afternoon? So the person who is asking the question is asking it at a later part of the day, maybe in the evening. So he's asking the other person, did you watch the movie this afternoon? And for this, the speaker or the person who is responding may say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. So did is used in the simple past for framing questions. Now coming back once again, we remember, or we must remember that a simple past is used for an action which happened at a specific time in the past. So, I completed my homework last evening. Simple past, and the action is very clearly mentioned. But I cannot say I have completed my homework or assignment yesterday. Here the sentence becomes wrong because the time adverb has been wrongly used. So for simple past, you use the V2 and we use it with a specified time. We use it with a specified time. This is simple past. Now, let's come into this part, that is the present perfect. What is present perfect? Present perfect is also a kind of past. For example, I have just listened to your class. I have just listened. Now if you look at this word listen, it is in the second form. It's the V2 form or the past form. We call the sentence as present perfect, but we use the past form of the verb. We call the sentence as present perfect, but we use the past form. So some may say, so this is a past action. Well, it is a past action, no doubt about that, but the time. We must always associate time while writing sentences. Here, the action is past, but it happened recently. This word is important. Definitely a past, but a recent past. It has happened maybe just a few minutes ago or just a few seconds ago. So, we use the present perfect. I have just listened. So, the action of listening is not a distant past, but a recent past, just a few minutes ago. So, you see the formula, subject plus has or have plus the third form of the verb. This is the formula of the present perfect tense. But for the simple past, it is subject plus V2 plus object. Simple past is used with a specified time adverb which makes the sentence clear and which speaks about the time that it happened. It has to be, generally it is used for a distant past, yesterday, last month, last evening, last weekend, whatever it may be. The time adverb that is used is definitely a kind of distant past. But in the present perfect, it is a recent past. I have just listened to your class. So supposing you have come to my house as a guest and I ask you, would you like to have a cup of tea? No sir, thank you. I've just had. Would you like to have some lunch? No sir, thank you very much. I've just had my lunch. I have just taken my lunch. You're coming out of a theater after watching a film. Somebody asks you, what have you done? Or where are you coming from? You say, I'm coming from the theater and I've just watched an interesting movie. So, any action which has been completed in the recent past can be written or can be spoken with the present perfect. And keep the formula in mind. Formulas are important. Now, application of the tenses and the formula of the tense. These two things are very important for us. If you don't know the formula, you cannot write the sentence. If you know how to use it, then you will be making mistakes. You will be using the wrong tense in the wrong context. That is very important. Using the right tense in the right context. Okay. Now, look at this. Ever be. This is a phrase. What do you mean by ever be? At any point of time. It means any point of time. So, look at the question. Have you ever been to London? Ever been? What does this word ever been mean? It just means, have you at any point of time visited London? Have you ever been to the multiplex that is in the city? What do you mean by this? Have you at any point of time visited the multiplex in your city? Any point of time. And ever been is always used with the present perfect. Have you ever seen such a huge flower like the rafflesia? Have you ever visited the Taj Mahal? So, ever been? Have you ever been to London? Have you at any point of time been to London? Have you ever? You can also use only this. You just delete or take away been, and with the word ever you can make a present perfect tense. Have you ever done this? Or have you ever had an experience like this? Have you ever challenged your teacher? So ever, been or ever can be used with the present perfect tense. The same goes for this never been. I have never been to London. So what do you mean I have never been to London so far? At no point of time have I visited London. So never been and ever been, never and ever, these are some of the adverbs which are used with the present perfect tense. Okay. And look at this. This is also important. Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency are always used with present perfect. For example, already. Going back to the example which I gave you. You come to my house as a guest and then I ask you, would you like to have a cup of tea? No, sir. I've already taken. Want to sit down with me for lunch? Thank you very much. I have just taken my lunch. So already, never, we have already discussed that. I've never seen such a film. I've never seen such a building. I've never read such an interesting story. So never also goes with present perfect tense. And then you come to this one, so far. So far means till now. Another way of saying till now is so far. I have not visited Mumbai so far. I haven't visited it so far, till now. And it can also be used with a positive sentence. He has written 30 books so far, or 20 books so far. He has never done it till now. So, already, never, so far, till now. So far until now means up to the present moment. So far. I haven't heard of any such thing so far. Means I haven't heard any information or any news till now. So always keep in mind, already, never, so far, till now are some of the adverbs of time frequency or adverbs of frequency which are generally used with present perfect. Now, I want to invite your attention to another important point. You see, I did it, I have done it. It is actually the same point which I have discussed just a while ago, but in order to kind of recapitulate, I'm just bringing it again. I did it means I finished it. I finished the action. But the sentence doesn't tell you when you did it. So it is a distant past. I did it. I did that work, yes. But when? It's not mentioned. Time frequency is not there. But one thing is clear, the action is completed. But look at this. I have done it. I've done it means I've done it just a few minutes ago, just a few moments ago, or just a while ago. That is the difference. Okay? So I did it, simple past. The past is a distant one. I have done it is also past, but the past is a recent past. Now, this one, the last one. I have got it done. I have done it and I have got it done. What is the difference? I have done it and I have got it done. I have done it means you are doing it yourself. I have done my homework. Who is the doer? You are the doer. So I am doing it myself. But I have got my homework done. What does this mean? Somebody else is doing the homework for you. He has already done it for you. So here, I have got it done means somebody is doing the work for you and you are not doing it yourself. But when you say, I have done it, it means you are the person and you are doing it, or you have just done it. A few more examples. I have painted my house. Now, who is doing the work? Who is performing the action? You are performing the action. But I have got my house painted. I have got my house painted. Present perfect, definitely. So what does this sentence mean? You are not doing it, or you have not done it, but you appoint somebody, you pay somebody, and the person does it for you. I have got my house painted. The workers or the painters came and painted it. I have written the story, or I have written an article. You write it. I've got the article written for me. That means somebody else is doing the job for you. So the meaning must be clear. If you understand the meaning, definitely you have learned to kind of use the time and you have had a perfect understanding of the tense. So once again, dear students, try to distinguish, try to identify the present perfect and the simple past. Both are associated with the past action, but the simple past refers to an action which happened at a distant past, and the present perfect is associated with an action which has just been over, and therefore it is connected to the recent past. And this point, the one which we discussed at the end, is very important. I do something, somebody else does something for me. I have done it and I have got it done. Remember the formulas as well. Remember these phrases, ever been, never been, and also be familiar with the adverbs of frequency. There are lots and lots of websites. You can take the help of those websites in order to kind of have a more, you can have a perfect understanding. Your understanding would be clearer when you take the help of the websites. And one more point before I wind up. Learn the forms of the verbs V1, V2, V3, V4. These are very, very important because you can call these forms of verbs as the foundation of your tenses. That these verbs, they are considered as a backbone of grammar. So if you know the correct forms of the verbs, you will be able to apply those correct forms of the verbs with the correct tense. Otherwise, you will make a mess. You will end up in a mess. So to learn the tenses properly, I must know the different forms of verbs. To learn the tenses properly, I must also know the adverbs of frequency and many more things. So with this, we wind up today. I will be sending you some worksheets. You can just try to work out and keep learning, keep staying safe at home. Until we meet, goodbye and a safe stay.